This is why we're hot.
Yeah.
Just because we got an exclusive invite to the Emperor's Suite to do a little 2-minute, 3-minute update, telling y'all what's the latest and greatest with him, as well as sharing his thoughts on the big mega fight next week in Vegas. So
that's right.
Let's get right to it. Tell us what you think about it. De La Hoya Mayweather, less than a week away.
Interesting fight. I think Mayweather's got a lot of speed, young, very quick. Oscar's coming preparing himself to fight a good fight. He's got the power, he's got the left hook, he's got the right hand, he's got the experience. Whether that can catch a guy that can't be caught in Mayweather, this is what we have to see in the fight. It's going to be real interesting.
The Mayweather-De La Hoya fight's gotten a lot of exposure. They've done this 24/7 series. You're one half of the biggest fight in the history of boxing, the highest grossing fight. You and Mike Tyson 5 years ago. I mean, as being half of that promotion, how do you see this fight going? Do you think it's going to surpass your fight with Tyson? Do you think it could compete with it, come close to it? In terms of how big it is, how do you compare it?
Well, let me tell you a funny story behind that. I'm saying, my friends are saying they want to go to the fight if I can get them tickets. I'm saying, dude, I only get a couple of tickets, the rest you have to buy. So they went out trying to get the tickets, and they said the prices was mad. And I went out, made a couple phone calls to find out how much the tickets cost. And I said, geez, these tickets are expensive, man. Jeez. They said, Lennox, your tickets were more. So I was going, oh, okay. So what I'm saying is definitely on the way. If it's not going to be close, it's going to be definitely there. Everybody's talking about this particular fight. It's a long time. People haven't been up for a good fight, and I think this is one that's going to really make them excited about it.
How important do you think it is for the sport for this fight to live up to expectations with all this hype leading into the event?
Oh, very important. Hype is part of the battle, and the fans out there can't be fooled anymore. So, they want to see real good fights, and in this fight, you got two real good combatants, and they're very experienced and well schooled. So you're gonna get a terrific fight. There's no doubt about that.
Who do you like?
I like Mayweather. Like I said, he's got so much talent. He almost plays with it. You know what I mean? He plays a game of cat and mouse with you. He kind of shows you, yo, I've got so much talent that I can be in front of you and you still can't hit me. I'm right here, and then when they go to punch him, he's not. So he's got some good talent. I hear him talking about retirement, and what's really important to him is that big O. After how many wins and losses he has, which is very important. That's a great goal to have. I remember when I had that big O. So, that's what I can say. Live it up right now.
We remember when you were the real heavyweight champ. When my webmaster called a little while ago, you introduced yourself as the real champ. Since our last on-the-record discussion, Vitaly Klitschko's decided to return to boxing.
Yeah, and that's unusual, because he said that he would only return if Lennox Lewis returned in the ring. Well, I haven't returned, so he's returned. You know what I mean? It's going to be difficult for him, especially retiring from boxing with a whole heap of injuries. Now he's taken some time off and saying he's going to come back. I wish him all the best, and it's going to be difficult. It's not going to be easy because I've done that. You know what I mean? So it's going to be frustrating for him, especially when he trains for a fight, ends up with an injury again, because that's what usually happens.
You've done that and you won't do it again?
I don't really injure that easy. Like I said, boxing, survival of the fittest. You know what I mean? So whether you're training and you're getting injured, if you're getting injured and you're training and it's affecting how you perform in your fight, then you have to know when to call it a day.
Are you ever coming back?
Yeah, you definitely see me in boxing, but not in the ring.
No, that's what we mean in the ring. You know what we mean, man.
Just if you really miss me, just turn it on YouTube. You
got like YouTube, ESPN Classic it up.
Yeah, man. Or people are seen some of my old time classic fights, and they didn't realize that Mercer fight was a tough fight, and it's interesting seeing myself as a old time classic fighter, a legendary boxer. I'm happy that I see it, and it gives me fond memories of being in the ring, and that situation when I see an old fight, I can remember certain things around it, like, I was pretty sick in training camp, or that guy caught me with a good punch, or boy, that guy was a real tough hombre that I fought, or different things about fights that when I watch myself, I dream about and think about.
That's what it is. We're going to have a lot more of the Emperor on Boxing Talk in the coming weeks. We'll probably see him next week in Vegas if we're lucky. In the meantime, give us some closing thoughts for the fans, and we'll wrap this short.
Closing thoughts for the fans. Yes. Yes. Bless. We should all say a prayer once in a while, and we should all do a good deed, knowing good deed. So we send some positive vibes out there. So, when you see somebody, greet them in such a way and say, instead of hello, which is negative hell, it starts with hello. Why meet somebody and say hell? Say blessings or greetings.
Lesson from the Emperor.
Yes.
Early in your career,